priced my first monthly package, I was so scared of losing the client that I undercharged badly. But at the time, I felt like it was a win. And I mean, technically it was. I managed to get my first client. It was great because, someone was willing to pay me every month to do their books. So I was thrilled. And I thought, hey, if I just keep it affordable, they'll stick around and maybe I'll get more clients through word of mouth. But here's what actually happened. I ended up doing way more than I expected. There were way more transactions than they originally said. Their books were a mess. And I spent hours cleaning things up, answering questions, and fixing issues from before I even came on board. And every time I thought about increasing my price, I honestly felt guilty because I was the one who had set it so low. That package ended up taking way more time than it was worth. And the worst part was because I started out low, it was really hard to raise the price later. I had pretty much set the tone and it wasn't easy to change it. So here's what I wish I'd done instead, and what I do now every single time that I onboard new clients. First, I ask better questions up front. Don't just ask how many transactions they have, ask how many accounts they use. Are there credit cards or loans? How do they make and receive payments? For example, do they just pay for each individual invoice one at a time, or is it a lump sum payment for multiple invoices? And also ask if they track by customer or project. These answers will tell you a lot more about the actual workload than just the size of the business or the number of transactions that they process. Second, build in a buffer. Even when things sound straightforward, something always pops up. I have learned to build in time for unexpected questions, last minute receipts, or just general cleanup work. You don't have to charge an arm and a leg for it, but give yourself a little breathing room. You're not just charging for data entry. As a bookkeeper, you're charging for your experience, your eyes being on their numbers, and your ability to help them stay out of financial trouble. Third, don't assume lower prices build trust. I thought keeping my price low would help the client say yes, but and it did. But the truth is, if someone really values what you offer, they will pay for it. Pricing too low can actually make you look less professional, actually, or even less experienced. And once you've set that low price, it's really hard to increase it. Though not impossible, but it is hard. And especially if you didn't explain the scope well right from the beginning. Finally, don't skip the engagement letter. This is something that I learned a little later on in my process of building my business. Like, even if it's super simple, always like what you're providing, if it's super simple, like always outline what's included in your package, how communication will work, what counts as extra, and how often your rate may need to be reviewed. This just really helps to protect you, and it also just helps to set clear expectations, and clients actually appreciate that a lot more than you think. So that first pricing mistake taught me a lot. It forced me to just get super clear on my processes and to just value my own time and stop letting fear run my business. So if you're about to price your first package for your first customer, first of all, congratulations. But my advice is don't just guess. Take a deep breath, scope the work properly, and price like someone who knows what they're doing, because you do.